Hi, this is Ryan from Ready Rhino One, and I thought that for this podcast, I would talk a little bit about kind of what my setup looks like for doing these kinds of podcasts, and for some parts of the YouTube channel as well. It's a very low budget operation here, but I am slowly approaching competency. That might be too strong of a term. Um, it's really not that competent. I'm kind of cobbling a lot of this stuff together, but this is something I've always kind of wanted to do, just not for because I'm trying to like become any kind of internet famous or make any kind of money off of it. It's just like I feel like I'm doing a lot of this stuff anyway. I enjoy talking about the different things that I like to do with people. And honestly, I think my wife is probably getting sick and tired of hearing it. So I figured, like, well, there's a broader audience on the internet that maybe they would like to hear about it. And so I figured I could just record myself playing games because I was probably already playing it anyway, or I would just be talking to people about my different hobbies and baking and cooking and woodworking and all that kind of stuff. And so I thought, well, like, well, I'll just record myself talking to strangers, and then maybe someone finds it entertaining or interesting, or really I'd like it that if people were to kind of take that and run off in their own direction with it, and just kind of need to to influence someone in that capacity, to give them something that maybe they'll enjoy. So it was a little bit about my setup here. So I'm using just a standard webcam that I got off of Amazon, and I got a microphone here. Icodon, I don't know. It was, I forgot how much it was, but it was discounted for Amazon Prime Day, and I figured this is perfect. It came with like a boom, and a microphone, and I think it's a Snowball is what they called it. It's not the Snowball brand of microphone, but it's got what do they call it, whatever. It's got this foam cone thing on it, and there's a pop filter, which I took off. I found it didn't really help that much. At least it didn't help to have both of them on. Then I had the foam cover off, and then I put the pop filter on and thought maybe that was better. And from what I was reading, that's kind of what you're supposed to do for indoor stuff. But I don't know, it kind of got in the way, and so I just swapped out the pop filter for the foam cover, and I haven't really noticed a difference. But I'm not an audio engineer, so maybe there's a huge difference or a noticeable one, and I'm not seeing it. The camera and lighting has been kind of difficult for me. If you see my previous or any of my other videos or collaboration projects, like with Escape News, the camera's been kind of distant and the lighting's been kind of bad. I'm trying to improve that. So this is actually one improvement. I've got it on kind of a snake gooseneck type arm attached to a clip on my desk, so that the camera can be closer. As you can see, it's a lot closer. So before I was kind of like sitting back like this and everything's a little dark. So I've kind of worked on the lighting a little bit better. And I think it's been going pretty well, at least just in this initial test. And I thought I would do a quick little podcast to kind of go over some of that. So in terms of software, I'm using different combinations. So I've got OBS to do the streaming of well, it's not to stream it does recording and picture, and allows me to switch scenes and do different things like that. So I'm using that a lot to do a lot of the heavy lifting of making this content. And then I use OpenShot. OpenShot's a free open source video editing type suite. There's a lot there. I haven't learned everything about it. So I'm still learning different things on how to just do a lot of stuff. But fortunately, I can just kind of drag and drop clips, put them in place, snap them together, and then boom, export a video. So if you notice, most of my videos are very low production quality. This is why. I do not have a background in any of this. So me cobbling the stuff together is me just kind of poking around, seeing what works. I look up some videos, I do some looking around and researching, but not a ton. Like, I don't have a massive amount of time to be devoting to all this, but I'm slowly learning. And honestly, I don't want to sit down for like 8, 12 hours a day and really try to get through it all, because to me, learning it in little bits and pieces forces me to implement the little things that I do learn. And for me, that helps me learn a lot better, right? So if I were to sit down and learn like 20 things, and then I probably would not be able to use all 20 of those things. Maybe I'll use like 8 of them and I'll forget the other 12. So in this way, I'm learning like two, maybe three things, or one or two things. Well, I can immediately implement each of those in little tests and stuff, and I feel like that really solidifies it for me. So I'm slowly learning this kind of stuff. I do use VLC and Audacity to some degree, not as much as I used to, but I definitely use VLC to convert the MP4s that I master for the videos, and I'll convert them to VLC will convert the MP4 straight to MP3 and give me just the audio channel, which is what I need to post the podcast stuff. But I figured it's easy if I just make a video because I do intend to post it to YouTube, and then I can just I can do with it whatever I want. So I don't know if I'll make the video available on my YouTube channel under the podcast playlist, but it's an option, right? So I figured I'll record it in that, and then I can do with it whatever I want later. So that's kind of my setup. It's not very great. But I'm trying to kind of get there, and I'm learning little things along the way. So I'm working with Chad. If you've seen my the Escape News podcast, it's kind of a collaboration project that he and I do, and he's also doing a lot of work on this kind of stuff and learning a lot more. He's a very motivated and very capable person who's like really blazing trails here with that kind of stuff. Well, I say blazing trails, I mean for us, relative for where we're coming from, he's quite blazing a trail for both of us. So I've been learning a lot from him, and I've really enjoyed doing that Escape News podcast. It's been a lot of fun, just kind of researching the little things and coming up with something interesting, and then talking about it, having a lot of back and forth. It's been a lot of fun. So I've really enjoyed doing that, and I hope to continue to do that. So if you haven't had a chance, I would definitely recommend checking out Escape News Podcast. I'll see if I can put that in the video description, if I can remember. I'm sure I will, though, now that I've said it a couple times. So yeah, I guess I'm not really asking for anyone to feel sorry for me or to be sympathetic necessarily, but just in some ways to be understanding. That I'm not I have not convinced myself that this is a high production value endeavor. That this is something that I'm doing because I feel like it's just fun to do anyway, and it's fun to learn things. And I figured, why not? It seems fun enough. It's not something I don't have to really invest a ton of money into to really get started. I put a little bit of money into it, mostly from like a hobby budget, but it's really not that much. And so I'll probably keep it that way for a while. But if something, if any of this comes to something, and I do get some money, I will most likely just dump it directly back into, upgrading some of the equipment or creating some stuff. So I know one thing I am looking to get is kind of a green screen background so I can do chroma key. I've done some tests with it, making a chroma key out of, I forgot what color, but it's something I could hold it behind me and see that it goes transparent to a degree. So I know that it can work. But I put on an Amazon wish list. I'm not posting it here. It's not for anyone. It's not a public one. It's really just for a private Christmas list, for my family. And it's dirt cheap too. It's like maybe $15-17. No, it's 13, not $13. So again, very low budget, but it's just kind of something like, is this going to work? Is this going to be kind of add anything to it? Well, who knows? I mean, it's a Christmas list, right? So I just want to put something like cheap and easy to get, put it on there, and it's low risk. No major capital outlays. So I don't know. It's been kind of fun. I certainly do enjoy doing it. So I'm looking forward to continuing to make more videos and more content. But I thought that maybe I could just knock out a quick video slash podcast about this, and then kind of see where I don't know if I'll do another update. Like if I ever update any of my equipment, maybe I can put that up on here, and it might be something that people want to see. So anyways, that's all I really want to talk about. This is going to be kind of a short episode for the podcast. I don't really have much else in the way of the of like what direction I'm taking things. I'm still kind of feeling things out. I will say for this YouTube channel though, for my YouTube channel, I think I've been posting my playthrough of Skyrim. Those have been going up every day. Once that concludes, and we're getting close to the conclusion of it, I will probably put like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks in between before I post my next playthrough. And my next playthrough is going to be Torchlight 2. It's a really fun game. I've enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed the first Torchlight, so I thought, why not Torchlight 2? Torchlight 2, I think, was a little better than Torchlight 1, which is kind of what you should expect. A sequel is gonna outperform its predecessor. But they both kind of stand by themselves pretty well. I just happen to like Torchlight 2 a little bit better. So I figured I'd do a quick playthrough of that. And so that will be posted. I'll probably not going to do every single day, post a video of the playthrough. I might do every other day or put like 2 days in between. I've never really posted playthroughs of stuff I did, and I know some of the more professional Twitch streamers or people like that. They're probably like dumping out massive amounts of content all the time. I'm not really sure what the pace I want to keep with all that. So I figure I'm just going to put out Torchlight 2, and that should carry me through the rest of the year. I think we'll see. Depends on what the rate I end up settling on, of how often I want to put things out. And then I always do want to be doing a playthrough though. I've got a decent number of games in my Steam library, most of which are unplayed. I'm just joking. Actually, I played a lot of them. But I'll probably be doing some other playthroughs and stuff. Right now, I've been using PS Remote Play in order to connect to my PlayStation 4 and stream that directly to my computer. And then I use OBS to record off of the desktop capture, and then with an inset of myself. So you'll see some of my earlier playthroughs, like through Skyrim and Torchlight 2. And the next game that I'm actually in the middle of playing through, I'm going to have a switch now. I'm going to be switching rather from the picture and where you see like the actual game being played, and a small little picture of me. You're probably going to see this setup where I'm a little bit closer to the camera, so it's going to be a transition there. So if you'll bear with me, if you really hate the way I've currently got it set up in the playthroughs, bear with me. That will be changing. You'll have to kind of slog through one more playthrough, but you're more than welcome to ignore that one. And then just wait until the next one comes out, which I'm hoping will be pretty entertaining. And also, I guess one more thing too. When I first started, and you'll probably see this in the early Skyrim ones, I wasn't doing a ton of talking. Because I didn't really know what I was supposed to say. So, and I kind of feel a little self-conscious sometimes, because I usually, when I'm playing by myself, I have this inner dialogue running through my head where I'm just kind of like complaining and ripping on like a lot of the things I'm seeing, and kind of mocking NPCs and different things like that. I think I do a little bit more of that in Torchlight 2, and even more in the third game I'm playing through right now. So I'm kind of hoping to be a little more candid with my talking, and I don't know if that's entertaining for me. Or rather entertaining for you. It's entertaining for me, which is technically why I'm doing this, right? This is just kind of me just trying to make myself laugh. But I mean, hopefully, you'll find it as entertaining as I am. But that's kind of just kind of throwing that out there. But yeah, I think that's all I really want to talk about in this one. Just kind of give people a quick little update of kind of where I'm at, cataloging in some ways for me in the future, right? So if this is something that I tend to do more of, and I carry this out for months and perhaps years, I definitely want to be able to look back at something and see, oh, that's where you came from. See how much progress you've made since then. I think that's very important to see kind of where you came from and where you are now, and seeing if that you have made progress. It's really just for you. Even if it's a little bit of progress, it's progress nonetheless. And so I think that really helps. So my just real quick, my background is with computers. So I've done software development and a lot of database administration and database development, automation, integration type stuff like ETLs. And I find it helpful to sometimes go and look over my past projects. So I've looked at projects that I made in college. I looked at projects that I coded in high school. And I can see like you have made it very far since then. Now it's very relative, right? I mean, there's plenty of people, way more people out there who probably hit the ground running. Like they went into their freshman year or something, and they were just doing way better than I was doing by my senior year. But for me, it's really just for me, being able to see what kind of progress I've made. Like, oh, I can see all these problems. It's almost embarrassing. Like the kinds of things that I was doing from a software architectural standpoint. It's like, oh, these are all terrible techniques. Like this will never scale. This thing, it's not self-documenting code. The comments are just obtuse. It's terrible stuff. This thing is architected horribly, right? So you make one little change, you got to refactor the whole thing. So like I can see those problems, and and some people might see that as like that's discouraging. You're just kind of like throwing shade at yourself. Like, well, I feel like I come a long way. To me, that's encouraging. I can see like, yeah, I totally made tons of mistakes there. This is all terrible, but I don't make nearly as many mistakes now as I did then. But that doesn't really say much because I made a ton of mistakes back then. I make a lot now, but it's not a ton. So we're slowly kind of pushing that down, getting less and less as the years go on. So, and that to me is progress, and it's encouraging. So, for those of you out there who are trying to better yourself, please keep some kind of, I don't know, diary, journal, or something of your progress that you're making and where your thoughts are now, and kind of the quality of your work now, and then you can use that to encourage yourself later. So, that's all I had to say. So I hope that you'll join me in the next episode. Have a great day. Bye.